Alright, so this will be the first informational video on basically how to set up QGIS. That's pretty much going to be this video, is just how to set it up. We're not going to get into a lot of the details of how to import shapefiles and raster stuff and all that fun stuff. So we'll just get right to it. So I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you probably haven't downloaded QGIS yet. So just go to your favorite browser. I just use Chrome. Type in QGIS, and there's going to be a Welcome to QGIS project. Go to the Download QGIS tab, and right now, the current most up-to-date one that I'm using is this QGIS standalone installer 3.10 64-bit. So it's going to depend on your computer. By and large, I think most computers are 64-bit now. So this is the one that I will be working on today. You're welcome to download the 3.12 version. As it says up here, it is the latest release, richest in features. However, this one says long-term release and most stable. And for what we're doing, or what I'm doing in agriculture, I don't need any of these richest special features. I'm doing, I can get by with just your typical old QGIS most stable version. So go ahead and click on that. It's going to go ahead and prompt you with a classic download. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this just because I already have it. And once it's all downloaded, it's going to ask you to install it. You can go ahead and do that. And then if you want to, I guess you can donate to QGIS. They always come up with this page right afterwards, but we're just going to skip that for now. So we'll exit out of that, and then you should be able to come down here and type in QGIS. It should pop up 3.110, or 3.10, not 110. And it'll go ahead and open up into this page right here. So this is the default. What I usually do is click on the new empty project tab, and it's going to bring this up, and it's just a blank page with nothing on it. So we need to get a map on here somehow, and on your screen you probably don't have these buttons located right in this area. You might have this little search button, but you probably don't have this button, which is where we get all of our maps. And this is actually through Quick Map Services, and it's defaultly not installed on QGIS. So to do that, we need to go over to Plugins and Manage and Install Plugins. And then this should pop up right here. If you type in Quick Map Services with 0 spaces, I can't stress that enough. Once you put a space in there, it's gone. You'll never find it. You need to have it one word. So here it is right here. Quick Map Services. Looks like it's had like 1.6 billion downloads, if I'm reading that right. Yep. So go ahead and hit the install button. It'll go ahead and install it for you. And once you get done, these buttons should be here in this area. And what you're going to do is click on this one that has a little plus button. And you're probably just going to see something like Bing, there's probably Landsat, a couple other ones, but you're not going to see this Google one because Quick Map Services is not updated. So down here at the bottom, I do not have it because I've already updated, but there should be a tab called More Services. If you go ahead and click on the More Services tab, and then click on Get Contributed Package, or pack I should say, and go ahead and download that to your QGIS. It'll go ahead and update this to where you should be able to have Google, Esri, all sorts of different ones on here. So for today we're just going to operate off of the Google hybrid. So, but there's all sorts of different ones on here. Esri has tons of them. Bing, I'm not quite sure yet. It looks like just Bing satellite. I imagine it's probably just like Google, quite honestly. But we're just going to click on Google Hybrid right now. Brings up our map. And then you can zoom in just like normal. and it's just like as if you were on your phone looking at Google Maps. It's identical. I'm pretty sure this is updated as Google updates. I'm not quite sure. You might need to have internet access to get this background. I'm not 100% sure how this works 100%. But yeah, that's pretty much how you get a map. Some other features that we probably need to set at this time is going to be you can, if it's rendering in the wrong format, right now we just got it in WGS 1984 with this one. If you go ahead and click on that, it'll pop this up and you can render in whatever coordinate system that you want to a projection. For mine, I'm just using the EPSG 4326, and that's essentially just WGS 1984 right there. So that's the one we're rendering right now. I think that's probably the most standard one that most people are going to be rendering in. So we got that all set up. The other thing is right now the defaults are all in meters. We can actually come into our project here and go to properties, and we can go to general up here, and we can change our measurements. So we can change our units for distance. If we're not used to meters, let's say we're in the United States where we're not using the metric type of stuff, unfortunately, we can come down here and click on feet, and that's a little more reasonable. If you're more of a yard type of a person, you can change to yards. Anyway, we'll just leave in feet. And then units for area measure, square meters, you can change this to acres right there. And there's a bunch of other things that you can do in here that you can set, like your default styles. Like if you like a certain marker type to defaultly show up, you can click on one of these and set it as your default. I don't think I did this. Once you get done, don't forget to click let me get this down a little bit. Click the apply button and it'll go ahead and apply it to your map. Without that, it's going to be really hard to see any differences because you didn't apply any differences to the map. You can set the precision on how these coordinate systems are working down here. You can set it to automatic, or you can just do manual, and you can set it for how many decimal points you want. Like if you want to always have, let's say, 6 decimal points, you can apply that, hit OK, and now if you look at the bottom, it's always going to have 6 decimal points on the bottom, no matter what. Wherever we're zoomed in at, it's always going to have 6. The default, let's get back there, default of automatic, let's apply it, push OK. The farther you're zoomed out, the lower, or the less decimal points there are. So if you zoom in farther and farther and farther, eventually you start getting a horrendous amount of decimal points down below here. So it's just all personal preference how you want to run the software. Quite honestly, the just standard old default works pretty well because we're not usually typically zoomed in a bunch. We're just right around there most of the time on a pivot or something like that. There's one other thing I want to hit on in this video. Let's see. Let's go ahead and turn on our snapping features. Mine are already on, but I'll show you how to do that. Let me read over in my Word document over here. Go to options. Whatever options is that. Go into your settings, go to options, and you should have this. And then go to digitizing. And then down here is where you are going to turn on your snapping. So essentially this is like when you're making a field boundary or something like that and you want it to snap on to the next vertex. You can come in here and enable snapping by default. Go ahead and hit OK. You can change your marker color. I got it pink right now. That looks pretty nice. We'll just leave it as pink. You can change how far out it snaps. You can have it snap really far out or really close. So that's pretty much what that is. Go ahead and hit OK there. And the thing with the snapping features, you have to exit out of QGIS and come back in before it will lock on and say it's working. So if you turn on your snapping and it's not working right away, go ahead and log out, log back in, and you should be good to go. With that, let me check and make sure we're not missing anything. No, I think we're good to go on this video. This is just a quick QGIS video setup. Next video we'll get into how to import shapefiles and how to import comma delimited tables. Do join and relates and adding XY, basically just adding XY data in general. So with that, this will conclude this short video. Most of these videos are going to be short and sweet with many of them, so that way when you're looking on how to do something, you don't have to watch an hour-long video tutorial on QGIS. So with that, we will catch you guys next time.